Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am here today with another chit chat health holistic video. Specifically, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my own personal journey and to then discuss about how this could be affecting you as well in your own personal weight loss journey. If you guys aren't actually enjoying this kind of content where I'm just sitting here chatting with y'all about just different tips or different topics concerning health and holistic wellness in general, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the fam. Now, as a forewarning, okay, I feel like I have to say this. I do a lot of different topics on this channel. This channel is just really a creative outlet for me. And while I am a nutrition coach, I truly do have a passion for making sure that we're taking care of the temple that God has given us, because remember, our bodies do not belong to us. We are just renting them, if you will. So we have to take care of the temple that we were gifted with. Okay, y'all? Well, today I'm going to be specifically talking about why have I stopped calorie counting during my postpartum journey. I know me saying this sounds very controversial and may even sound like it's kind of contradicting a lot of the things that I have said on my channel in the past, so on. And if you were a previous client of mine, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, you be having me calorie count. What are you talking about? So I'm going to get into this in just a second. I'm going to be talking about a few reasons why calorie counting is not helpful in my journey. Also, what are some ways that I still have been able to lose weight even though I am not counting calories? Now, before I get into the juicy stuff, I have to first, what is calorie counting in the first place? So calorie counting is when you are using a tool like an app to pretty much document every single thing that you're eating every single day to ensure that you are hitting a certain number, which is calories, or you're trying to make sure you're hitting a certain amount of the macros, like your protein, your fat, your carbs. Even if it's not an app, calorie counting can also look like you just looking at the nutrition label of whatever food item that you're about to consume and pretty much just using a calculator and jotting down whatever serving amount it says on the nutrition label, taking down the caloric amount that it says you are eating, and then pretty much just adding that up throughout the whole entire day. That's another way of calorie counting as well if you're not using a tool like an app. Now, this is a very effective way in terms of weight loss, because if you are unsure of what a portion size should look like for you to ensure that you are losing weight, or if you don't even know like what, for instance, like a fistful of mashed potatoes, like if that's even something you should be consuming in terms of amount wise, then it's very, very helpful, especially if you're unsure when it comes to portion sizes. But that being said, this tool or way of losing weight may not be appropriate for all individuals. Why is it an inappropriate tool for me? So the reason why it was inappropriate for me was because I was too focused on calories versus food. I ended up getting in my own head when I was calorie counting for a period of time anyway. I didn't calorie count when I first started my postpartum journey, just to make that clear. It was like at some point I was just like, you know what, maybe I should track my calories. But I was too focused on calories versus the food, so I would eat things only if they were low in calories versus if I actually liked it, like the actual food item. So I felt like I was pressuring myself to admit out a lot of foods that I actually wanted, but I was omitting them out just for the sake of weight loss. You may be thinking, well, what is actually wrong with omitting foods that are high in calories? Well, for me personally, and for a lot of individuals can probably agree with this, it creates another bad relationship with food, because then you start saying to yourself, well, if this food item is high in calories, then I don't need to eat it at all because I'm on a weight loss journey and this is going to hinder my weight loss journey, which is not true at all. High caloric foods can only hinder you if you are consuming them in a high frequency and in a high amount. It has nothing to do with the food item itself. Being pressured to admit things out just for the sake of weight loss can create this really bad label on food in general. And for someone who has struggled with that in the past, I want to try to take as many steps as I can to ensure that I do not fall into this pitfall again. Now, when I say high caloric foods, Most of the time we think about something that's high in sugar, but it can also be things that are high in fat too. Mind you, in case if you're not aware of this, every gram of carb, every gram of protein is only 4 calories versus every gram of fat is 9 calories. So higher fatty foods are going to be a lot more calorically dense than carbs and protein foods would be. Saying that, if someone is struggling with a relationship with food and is omitting foods out just for the sake of weight loss, they're going to steer away from high caloric foods, and high fatty foods can be one of them. So now you end up falling into the pitfall trap of, I'm not going to eat fatty foods, I'm only going to consume low fat, I'm only going to consume skim. Nothing fatty whatsoever is going to be in my diet. And this is very poor nutrition. To omit out fat out your diet entirely, unless you were already confirmed with a healthcare professional that you need to omit fats out your diet. For the average folk that doesn't have that issue, this could be very detrimental to your overall health, because fats are very, very important for the body. They are basically the oil for the gears that are running in your system. And I can go into a little bit more when it comes to fatty foods in another video. So just for the sake of staying on topic, omitting fatty foods out your diet is not appropriate for a well-balanced nutrition. For a lot of people, for the sake of weight loss, they'll end up doing this because it's high in calories. Then this goes back to my previous point when I said that calorie counting could be appropriate for someone if they are unsure on what an appropriate amount of food looks like for them. So for instance, the example that I made about fatty foods being high in calories due to the fact that 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. What you would need to do is to use a tool like an app like MyFitnessPal, Carb Manager. There's probably a ton of them out there. Those are the main two that I'm familiar with. You would want to use that when it comes to plugging in your fats to ensure that you are eating healthy fats in your diet, such as avocado, eggs, olive oil. You're just not over consuming it, which then could lead to weight gain. But as long as you're eating it in moderation, then having fats in your diet is definitely something you want to make sure that you are not neglecting. So using an app, using a tool would help you consume appropriate servings when it comes to higher fatty foods. So going back to my situation as an example, me being a nutrition professional, I am able to recognize the sign. I noticed that me going back to calorie counting was triggering a lot of poor relationships that I had with certain foods. I knew that I had to pull back. When I pulled back, I then started focusing on different methods on how to ensure that I could still see weight loss in my postpartum journey without retriggering those bad habits when it comes to food. This can become especially difficult for me being pulled in different directions. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a business owner. So as of right now, in my current stage of life, calorie counting just wouldn't be a good fit for me right now. And just for the sake of the example that I was already previously using, cutting out fatty foods would not only create a bad rap in my head about what I feel like fatty foods are, but it'll also create my meals to be very unenjoyable. Fat is what makes meals yummy, y'all. Okay, listen, it creates the density, the thickness of the meal. It sits in your tummy a little bit longer, so it creates that more of a satisfactory feeling when you are consuming the meal. And let's be real, if you're not enjoying the food that you're eating, you're gonna end up binging later on something that you actually do want. So it's best just to create the meal that you really want, practicing moderation and portion control, using an app if you need to ensure that you meet your caloric goals and to be able to enjoy the meal that you actually want, versus omitting out fat, not enjoying your meal, and just binge eating on something else later. So now we're getting into the steps that I take to ensure I don't fall into this pit trap. Well, first and foremost, I do plan all my meals and all my snacks. I just don't look at the calories really. I think about what it is that I want and what's going to be beneficial for me. One thing that I always ask myself when I'm planning my meals and planning my snacks is, do I genuinely enjoy this meal? Do I genuinely enjoy this food item? If I don't, I'm not eating it. I don't care if it's low in calories. I'm not eating it. This makes me think about the other weekend I had made chili dogs. It's like a post-day 4th of July meal. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it was good, okay? And my husband said that he doesn't want this just on the 4th of July. He's like, I'm gonna need this like once a month, please. Needless to say, it was pretty good. So I actually recorded a video of me making it because I even thought it was really good. I'm like, oh snap, okay, look at me. This is actually pretty yummy. I made a video, was inspired by a game that I'm about to be posting on my channel soon. Now, what's crazy about it is that chili dogs are not known to be a healthy meal, right? So how can I still have chili dogs but still see weight loss? Following portion control and having self-control is how I am able to enjoy things like chili dogs and hamburgers without seeing a decrease in my weight loss journey. Because I will say this again until my head turns blue, moderation is way more important than the food item itself. And me and my family enjoy chili dogs, so I'm not gonna stop having them just because the whole entire world says that chili dogs are not healthy. There is a way to eat it. You just have to practice moderation and self-control. So this leads me into my next point. I follow what is commonly known as the My Plate method. The My Plate method, I've actually mentioned this before on my channel, so I'll kind of just briefly define it again. The My Plate method is when you have a plate and half of your plate is full of high fiber vegetables, a quarter of your plate is full of carbs, and the other quarter of your plate is your source of protein. Using the same example of the chili dogs, I had one chili dog, but with my chili dog, I had lettuce, which was my veg, if you will. But let's be real here, iceberg lettuce is just really water. But did I really want to make broccoli with my chili dog? Not really. Not really. I kind of just wanted my chili dog with my fries. So what I did was, as my vegetables, I did add lettuce, which I don't commonly see when it comes to chili dogs, but I did want to add some type of vegetable, and because iceberg lettuce is full of water, it helps with that satiating feeling too. So I tried to pack my hot dog bun as much as I could with that iceberg lettuce, okay? Then my source of protein came from my hot dog as well, but I made sure to stick with a organic and uncured source. When it comes to hot dogs, you want to be really careful. It's a very highly processed meat. So if you're going to consume anything like hot dogs, lunch meat, things like that, try to go for more of a more sustainable source like organic, uncured, things of that nature. But that was my source of protein, which was the dog itself and the chili that I had put on top. And of course, remember, chili is not just meat. It also has tomatoes, it has bell peppers, onions, garlic. So that's a whole bunch of other vegetables that's also in that meal. Now, when it comes to my carbs, because my bun is pretty much already a serving of carbs, I did not fill half of my plate with potato fries. I had only a quarter of my plate with potato fries to go right along with my chili dog. Could I have used a low carb version of a hot dog bun? Yes. Did I want to? No. I wanted to have a higher carb, white flour, if you will, hot dog. You could use a whole wheat bun. I was trying to actually get my hands on a whole wheat bun, but they didn't have any at the Aldi near me, so I had to go with the more traditional, if you will, hot dog buns. But you're more than welcome to also use whole wheat. Whole wheat is going to be a lot higher in fibers. It's going to leave you satiated a lot longer. It's also going to help you not have so much of a blood sugar spike if that's something you want to be mindful of. Due to the fiber, it slows down the digestion, which therefore slows down the absorption rate of the carbs when it is going through your intestinal canals. With low carb versions, you want to be mindful of those. One, they are very, very pricey. Secondly, their ingredients are not always the cleanest. So if you're looking for a low carb version that's a lot more sustainable, you're going to be paying a pretty penny for probably only like 5 buns, to be real. So again, it's not really about the food item itself. It's about self-control and portion control. And here's a little secret. No, I did not gain weight the next day after I ate the hot dog. And even if I did, it doesn't matter because it probably is just going to go up just because I had extra carbs that day, and it'll end up regulating itself throughout the week. So keep that in mind too. Don't be so quick to jump on the scale just because you had a high carb yesterday, because it's going to regulate itself throughout the week anyway, and you'll be right back on track. And that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about this topic. I hope that me bringing some insight on my own personal health journey was helpful to you and it may assist you in some areas. Please be sure to comment down below any other topics that you would like me to discuss on my channel when it comes to the Friday uploads. As I said before, I did record my chili dog recipe, so I will be posting that probably the week after this video becomes live for y'all. Now, I know there are some situations where weight loss seems like it is so difficult. Like you feel like you're doing everything right and just sometimes it doesn't feel like things are working. It just feels like weight loss is just really hard. If that feels like you right now, be sure to hit this video right here in the right hand corner. But that is the end. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.